Hello, my name is Tosh. Today I'm gonna be talking about how to use numbers in Japanese and how to use counter suffix together with numbers. Okay, so let's get into it. Okay, how to count in Japanese. So let's see the rules when you count in Japanese. So first, many numbers have actually a few readings and need to use the proper reading depending on the counter suffix. So in Japanese we have many counter suffix, and depending on what you have right after number, you have to change the reading. You have to pick the correct reading. But when you simply count numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, you just simply count. In this case, it doesn't matter. It's up to personal preference how to read. You have to be careful when you have the counter suffix. Okay, so let's take a look how to count from 0 to 10. Okay, so first 0, 0 or 0, 0 or 0. Okay, usually it doesn't matter which one to use. I would use 0 more often. Then 1, 1, 1. For 2, 2, 2. For 3, 3, 3. For 4, 4, or 4. So as I said, this number has a few readings, and then in this case you have to be careful when you use this number together with counter suffix. When you simply count, you can say 1, 2, 3, 4 or 1, 2, 3, 4, doesn't matter. Okay, for 5, 5, 5. 6, 6, 6. 7, 7, 7, 7 or 7. Again, when you count, doesn't matter, but when you have the suffix, you have to be careful. Then 8, 8, 8. 9, 9 or 9, 9, 9. The same for 7 and 4, doesn't matter when you count. And then 10, 10. Okay, so once you know 0 to 10, it's very easy to combine this number to describe bigger numbers like 11 to 99. Let's take a look. So when you count 11 to 19, it's very simple. What you need is 10 and then just plus 1, plus 2, plus 3. That's it. For example, 11 is just 10 plus 1. So 10 in Japanese is 10, and then 1 is 1. So it's gonna be 11. 11. Same for next one. 12, 10 plus 2. Okay, 2 in Japanese, 2. It's gonna be 12. 12. And it keeps going. 13, 13. 14, 14. 15, 15. 16, 16. 17, 17. 18, 18. Then 19, 19. And then after that, also very simple. So 20, 30, 40, these numbers, just 2 of 10s, 3 of 10s, that's it. For example, 20 or 20, 30, 30. Again, keeps going, there's no exceptions. 40, 40. 50, 50. 60, 60. 70, 70. 80, 80. And then 90, 90. And of course, when you want to count, for example, 21, 22, it's going to be just 20 plus 1. It's going to be 21, 21. 22, 22. And it keeps going like that, and there's no exceptions. Okay, so that's how you count numbers up until 99. And now let's take a look at counter suffix. Okay, so how do you use counter suffix? Okay, so in Japanese, you will always have to add suffix, counter suffix, right after the object you count. For example, in English, when you count something uncountable, for example, water, you have to say a bottle of water or a glass of water. You have to have the counter with uncountable objects. But in Japanese, doesn't matter if it's countable, uncountable, we don't have that system. So you will always need to use counter suffix when you count. And then depending on what you count, you will need to use the suffix accordingly. For example, if you're counting books, you have to use the suffix, counter suffix for books. When you count, for example, animals, again, you will always need to use the counter suffix for animals. And then, depending on the sound of the suffix, again, you will have to be careful with reading of the numbers. So, more suffix you know, it's going to be easier for you to predict how numbers change. But for today's lesson, we're gonna focus on two of the counter suffix. Okay, so example. Let's take a look how to say age, counter suffix for age, years old, sai. So you need a number and then this suffix sai. For example, 1 year old. So when you use this sai, this counter suffix sai doesn't like chi sound. So when numbers have chi sound, you just drop it. For example, 1 years old. 1 is ichi, so it has chi sound. So you just simply drop it. It's gonna be issai. Issai, 1 year old. And then other than that, you just need to use sai right after a number. So 2 years old, nisai. 3 years old, sansai. 4 years old, yonsai. 5 years old, gosai. 6 years old, rokusai. 7 years old, nanasai. And then 8 years old, 8 is hachi. Hachi has chi sound, so you drop it. It's gonna be hassai. And then 9 years old, kyusai. And then 10 years old, jussai. So ju as well, ju, even though it doesn't have chi, usually we say jussai instead of saying jusai. It's a small difference though. Okay, and let's see another counter suffix for time, o'clock. So counter suffix for o'clock is ji. So again, just like previous one, you just need ji right after numbers. And then there are a few of them you want to be careful. So let's take a look. So 1 o'clock, ichi ji. 2 o'clock, nichi. 3 o'clock, sanji. 4 o'clock, yoji. So this is something I want you to be careful. Yoji, we say it instead of yonji. Yonji. We usually say yoji. Of course, yonji is understandable, but it's more common to say yoji. It's more natural to say yoji. And then 5 o'clock, goji. 6 o'clock, rokuji. 7 o'clock, shichiji. Again, instead of saying nanaji, I want you to say shichiji. And then 8 o'clock, hachiji. 9 o'clock, kuji. Again, it's not kyuji, it's kuji. Then 10 o'clock, juji. 11 o'clock, juichiji. Then 12 o'clock, juniji. Okay, so just like this, you want to be careful when you have counter suffix. You want to be careful with how to use numbers. Of course, if you say, for example, yonji instead of yoji, we can still understand it. 7 o'clock as well. If you say nanaji, understandable. So ideally, of course, you want to use counter, suffix, and number properly. But even if you cannot use it properly, we can still communicate. So don't worry too much about this. Okay, and then let's see how to ask a question using this suffix. It's very simple. What you need is nan plus counter suffix. For example, when you want to ask for age, you use nan plus suffix sai, and then what years old are you? How old are you? This is how we say nan sai desu ka? Nan sai desu ka? And then for time, we say what time is it? What o'clock is it? So we need nan plus suffix ji desu ka? It's gonna be nanji desu ka? Nanji desu ka? So that's how you ask for the time. Now let's practice using this suffix. Okay, so what time is it now? It's 9 o'clock. So now in Japanese is ima, and you want to use it in the beginning of the sentence. So it's going to be ima nanji desu ka? 9時です。今何時ですか? 9時です。Okay, let's try next one. What time is it in Tokyo now? Literal translation is going to be, as for Tokyo, what time is it now? Then it's 4 o'clock. So it's going to be 東京は as for Tokyo 今何時ですか? 4時です。東京は今何時ですか? 4時です。Okay, that's how you use for. That's how to ask for time and answer. Okay, let's see how to ask. How old are you? And then 20 years old. I'm 20 years old. Okay. 何歳ですか? 28歳です。So, as I said, 歳 suffix doesn't like chi sound. So 28 is gonna be 28歳です。Okay, what about next one? How old is Murata? He is 31 years old. So how do you say that? 村田さんは何歳ですか? And then 31歳です。So again, 31, 1 has G sound, so you drop it. It's gonna be 31歳です。村田さんは何歳ですか? 31歳です。Okay, and now I have questions for you. So I want you to answer. If you can answer right now, you can answer. If you can write it in Japanese and in the comment section, you can try that too. So let me read questions for you. 今何時ですか? And also, 何歳ですか? So please try to answer this question. Okay, so that's it for today. I hope you learned something new today. If you liked the video, please give me a thumbs up and please subscribe to my channel. If you have any requests or comments, please let me know in the comment section. And again, if you can make sentences using these numbers, counter suffix, please try and then write it in the comment section and let me see what you learned. That's it for today. Thank you for watching. じゃあまた。